Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Women's Rugby Pod, episode 172. Sadia Kaber's in the house. Hi, Sadia, how are you?
Hi, Johnny. Yeah, good. Feeling good, feeling fresh. Yeah.
Good. Fresh from England camp. We're going to hear all about that. We're going to reflect on Ireland's historic Sevens win. We got the PWR results and fixtures to look forward to as well. All the news from all over the world, France and Celtic Cup and Rugby Europe as well. But exciting news here from the WRP. If we can indulge ourselves, we've got a new co-host joining us, none other Sarah Bern. Hi, Sarah Bern.
I'm very well, thank you. Little bit of leg pain, but other than that, I'm all good.
Yeah, well, let's get to it. Well, first of all, look, thank you so much for agreeing to come along. You're in a little bit of time of recovery now. So we just thought, come and join us on the WRP family. Join Sadia and I and Cindy and what have you. And come and do some podding with us. But how is the leg? How is going under the knife?
It was okay. It was obviously it's not enjoyable, but I think that it was fine. I woke up and I was generally okay. And then 10 days after my operation, I went into Bristol and they're like, "Oh, you can walk," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "You walk?" Kate was like, "Yeah." So I've been running around, and then yesterday I woke up and I was like, "Ow!" She was like, "Yeah, it's gonna take some time." So I'm back on the crutches today. So I think it's gonna be a bit of a bumpy journey. Doing rehab and getting back in, and it's gonna be a little bit sore here and there. But actually, I'm doing really well, and I'm really excited to be on this pod and look at other opportunities as well.
Awesome. Oh, brilliant stuff. And it just to relay some fears out there, it's a knee injury, but we're not ligaments here. We're meniscus, the little sort of rubbery stuff around the bones as that is hair.
Yeah, they said my ligaments look lovely, so that's always a plus.
Oh.
I did manage to quite heavily tear my meniscus, so they stitched it back together. But it is a 6-month recovery just because it's the main weight bearer, so it takes a little bit of time to get used to loading again. So it is going to be. I won't be back till next season, but it's not a bad knee injury. It just takes a long time to recover.
Yeah, and you're still incredibly young, but these breaks forced or not, whatever, longevity, and it's a major limb, isn't it? The knee, and if you keep removing meniscus, you start getting arthritis at the tender age of 45. Mentioning nobody. Sadia, you've been in England camp. That's been good fun. But let's get into that in a moment. We must just reflect on Ireland and say a huge congratulations to them. Been a long journey for them. They've stuck together. It's a really, really tight group, and to come away with their first ever series tournament title, 3 of their 5 victories, including the final against Australia, came within 5 points or less. Team GB were in good form as well, picking up a bronze with the first ever win over Australia as well. It was a great weekend of sevens, wasn't it, Sadia?
Yeah, no, it was great, and it was great to see all the highlights come up on my feed and be caught up. And I didn't actually manage to watch any of the games, but I felt like I was watching it anyway. I was seeing all the highlights, so quite enjoyed keeping up to date with everything.
I think it's just amazing. Like, they've worked so hard, and I don't think they always get the results that they want. And actually, for them to come away and medal and also beat Australia, I think that's just shows that it's a really exciting time for them, and wishing them all the best into the build up into the Olympics. So yeah, I think it's great to see them so happy and get some rewards for the effort that they put in on feeds and stuff like that.
Ever tempted, either of you, like playing in Olympic Games? I mean, I think you.
No.
Only wanted to play in the Olympics. I wanted to only play sevens. So it wasn't until 2017 I got turned into a prop. I thought, I don't know what's going to happen.
There's a French prop, Chloe Pell, and she plays proper 15s and was in the 7 squad for quite some time. It's never say never. But it's, sorry, Nick Wakely. These two won't be joining your GB squad anytime soon, I'm afraid. I think we've firmly shut that down. No, huge congratulations to Ireland. Yeah, Shelley's women who dropped points for the first time this season, having finished second on home soil, still increased their lead at the top of the standings and now have a 12-point cushion over second placed New Zealand. So, Sadia, we were into camp last week. First thing I want to ask, how does it work, like the WhatsApp groups? Sarah, have you been booted out? Are you still allowed in? Is there like a contract WhatsApp group and then a camp group, and you're like, yeah, sorry, SB, you're off? How's it work?
that has happened in the past. I don't think that will happen. They generally just use a squad list and a contracted group. But at the minute, I'm still in all of them. So I'm just going to not say anything and hopefully I won't get beat up.
Yeah, don't dare say anything on the group. Just, I'm here, it's fine.
I did see on the forward group, though, that Connie asked everyone to go for coffee and cake, and Deeks was like,
And
nope.
Deeks, yeah, but yeah, that was a bit of controversial.
What, the coffee or the cakes or both?
More so the cakes.
Yeah, it was the cakes. They ran the 1200, so they were like, oh, well done. And the Deeks was like, I think there could be a better option.
Yeah. Yes, Lewis. Okay. What this 1200? I keep hearing about that. How was it, Sonny? It was only a couple of days, wasn't it? It was more sort of, I would say meet and greet, but a kind of a hyper meet and greet. Would that be about right? Bit of physical testing.
Yeah, it was only 3 days. Basically coming together, getting to know each other, the squad, and going through like our game plans and stuff, on feet and off feet, and then we had one day of testing, which was the 1200 and speed, which everyone always looks forward to the 1200, the best day of the year. But it was fine. I went into it with a YOLO mindset. I kind of YOLO everything these days, so I was okay. But if you were in that table, in the breakfast room in the morning of the 1200, all you can literally hear is 1200, 1200, 1200, 1200. But after it was done, everyone was great. But I think it was on a Tuesday, so the middle of the camp. So I think the first day, I think everyone was a bit stressed, a bit uptight, and then after that, everyone was very relaxed.
What, to a complete layman, what is the 1200? Literally running 1200 meters.
Yeah, 1200 meters in 100-meter lengths. So 12 laps of the pitch. Well, up and down. Yeah.
Oh.
It sounds all right, but when you get to like the fourth lap, when you get to the fourth length, you're like, oh my god, I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm only made for running with the ball in my hand in short spurts of time, not straight lines for 1200 meters.
I think I would be better at it if someone was chasing me.
Yeah, you're ball in hand, and it's presumably it's the turning that does you. Because if it was around a sort of an athletic track, 1200 meters, you think, well, professional athletes probably should be able to do that. But it's the turning, presumably, and slowing down and speeding back up.
Yeah, it kills you. We used to, when they first brought it in, we used to do a 400-meter sprint, rest for 5 minutes, and then do 1200 meters around the track. And that was not good. So they took that out. So now it's just, they've only recently brought it back in. So it's not as bad. It's not terrible, but there's always that anxiety around how you're going to do, how are you going to perform, and it's just not very entertaining. So it's like quite dull. I find
so boring.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Let's move away from the dullness then. Sadia, you said you're sort of meeting and greeting, getting to know the squad. Was it basketball hoops from 50 meters away? Was it making go-karts out of cardboard and trolleys? What were the activities this time?
No, that actually wasn't any planned fun in this in this camp. It was more so just there was quite a lot of downtime in between meetings and stuff, so kind of just taking it upon yourself. We were at St. George's and we had this new team room which had like loads of bean bags in there, so everyone kind of was just chilling in there, so you could just pick up conversations here and there, but no no organized fun this time. It was just kind of getting to know on your own accord.
Nice. And a few sort of fresh faces in there, some younger players. Who did you gravitate towards? Did you have a new roommate? Sort of one of the leaders like yourself? Do you take a young player under the wing? How does it work?
We have new roommates basically every week until we get into game weeks. So I had the pleasure of rooming with Elle Perry, who was new into camp. Um, which yeah, so easy room with anyone, and she was lovely. My main concern was that she was going to be bothered by, sometimes apparently I snore. I mean, I don't know if I actually snore because no one's actually come to me with proof. But then also, then I realized she's had a baby, so she probably, as soon as she gets into camp, is going to be knocked out. So I thought, oh, it won't be a problem, and it wasn't a problem. So that was great. But yeah, there was a few new faces, a couple under 20s girls floating around. Millie Hyatt came in. Obviously, Brooke Bradley from Exeter was in as well, and Steph Else from Gloucester Heartbreak. So a few new faces, and we've got quite, well, a lot of young girls have come in over the past year or so. So there was a group of quite young girls in there. So I think it was easy for those new people to gravitate there, and obviously Brooke had her friends in Exeter. So as much as there was new people in, there was also, everyone was also comfortable because they had people they knew there as well. So.
You miss it, Sarah? Not the 1200,
Uh,
obviously, but
yeah, I think it's always nice to be in camp. Like you want to be in, like things like new things can also get thrown in, so it's good just to like stay up to date. And so yeah, and also I live with Hannah and Holly and Mackenzie, so when they're all not here, I was like, what do I do? But for me, I was really gutted for Gabriella Negrelli. I think she's going to be brilliant. She's really going to fill that 8 role, I think, in the future. So the fact she's picked up a quad injury, she'll be back soon. But I was just really gutted for her, bless her. But I hope she gets invited back in, because I think it'll be an exciting time for her, and she'll just grow and grow in that environment. But yeah, in terms of everyone, yeah, I definitely miss being around in that place and seeing everyone.
yeah, I mean, it is quite incredible, isn't it, Sadi? The strength of player you had it in that camp, and there's no Allcroft, no Cocaine, or was she doing some light stuff? Probably. Duffy, Harrison, Scarrett, Talling, obviously Sarah Bern here, McGilvery, and Negrelli, as you say, Reed and Vivas, Carson and Bridger out as well. I mean, that's an incredible list of players added to the quality there. So it's going to be an easy Six Nations, easy run into the World Cup, isn't it? No problem.
I mean, we're going to try and make it as easy as possible. And obviously the coaches and the setup that we have there, makes it quite easy for everyone to come in, and with the strength these players have anyway, it only builds the strength and depth we have when they do come in and join the squad. So we'll try and make it as easy as possible, but I'm sure there'll be, some bumps along the way.
And do you think either of you can answer? Do you think the blend is right? Do you feel there's a right blend of that experience within the England squad and players coming through? We were talking just when we say about sort of second and third kind of ranked of players in every position, and England seems to be getting that with some really good youngsters now.
Yeah, I think what they recognised definitely after 2017 World Cup was that we needed more strength and depth. And I think I've really noticed with Mitch, he's overtaken, is that he's not just inviting people that are playing well in the Prem, he's actually inviting the youngsters who are playing really well and trying to get them to breathe through that kind of professional environment, so that once they get to playing well in the Prem, it's not a shock to them. I think it's really nice to see that he's thinking about the future and who's going to be firing in all cylinders in that time, as well as still nurturing the players like Sydney Gregson, who are playing well in the Prem today, but maybe have played in the Prem for a few more years. So I think at the minute it's a really good blend. It'll be as close you get to competition times, I think you'll see the younger people filter out a little bit, just because that's when you need the experience, especially when you have the likes of Zoe Allcroft coming back into the squad, potentially Emma Cocaine, Emily Scarrett. They're senior players, big names that bring a lot to the pitch, and so those young opportunities might not necessarily always be there. But I think what Mitch is doing really well is creating an environment where when those opportunities come, injury, whatever, those people are going to be ready to flourish, and I think that's really exciting to see.
We will talk more at PWR after we caught up with the news from around the overworld.
I'm Gary Street, and you're listening to the Women's Rugby Pod.
The next round are the Celtic Cup fixtures this weekend. Saturday at 1:30, Gwalia host Edinburgh. The Clovers travel to Glasgow. That's 2:00. And the Wolfhounds go up against Brython Thunder. At the Kingspan, under the lights, 7:30.
Ireland women have added to their coaching team with Declan Danaher joining Scott Beamond. The London Irish stalwart, as a player and coach, joined the start as a defence coach. Greg Hollands also linked up with the squad for the Six Nations as an athletic performance coach, and Neve Briggs has been confirmed as an under-20s coach.
Yeah, great to see Neve at the Lions. I thought she was in sparkling form. Just got a feeling she's got a bright future in coaching. Sad to see. Possibly to move down to the 20s, but anyway, over in France, the Elite A Feminine was back at the weekend for round 5. In Pool 1, Montpellier fell 14-18 to ASC Rogmana. Bibogny were beaten by Stade Francais 24-7, and Lille lost at home 3-29 to Stade Bordelais. In Pool 2, just the 2 games, Stade Toulousien Grenoble has been moved to the 11th of February. I don't know why. I'm not sure we need to bother any more time as to reasons why, but they're playing on the 11th of February. Both games were won by the visitors that were actually played. 34-15, Blagnac at Stade Rennais, and Lyon at Pau, 20 points to 13.
It was announced this week that the Pacific 4 series will return between the 27th of April and the 25th of May this year, with the matches taking place in New Zealand, Australia, and the USA. The hosts are joined by Canada, with the top 3 qualifying from WXV for 2024, and the 4th place side going to WXV 2. Also in the mix, a place at the next World Cup. Canada and New Zealand have already qualified as a semi-finalist from the tournament down under in New Zealand. So Australia and USA will battle it out to take that next spot. Host cities and venues are yet to be confirmed, but we do know that USA will host Canada in the opening round on the 27th of April.
Held as the most interesting Rugby Europe 15s championship for more than a decade, gets underway this weekend. The extended version, back to 4 teams, the first time since 2012, Portugal will join Spain, Sweden and the Netherlands, with the Netherlands hosting Sweden on Saturday in Amsterdam. Moving on to the PWR, just 1 game this weekend. It was on Sunday and it was a big win for Exeter on the road. 54-3, 8 tries in all. Couple for Katie Buchanan continuing her impressive season. 2 for Taz Bricknell, the former Worcester player. Rogers, Tutosi, Jeffries and Miller Mills also got their names on the score sheet too, with Laurie Kramer getting 7 from 8 of her conversions. So no real change to the table. Exeter and Sale have caught up a game. Still Sarries at the top, with Gloucester Hartbury with a game in hand, and Exeter and Bristol in 3rd and 4th.
Getting tighter and tighter, isn't it? Movers and shakers. Your Loughborough Lightning team seems to be going from strength to strength, generally, Sadia. Are Exeter in the same boat? Do you think that they're improving?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Exeter have started the season quite strong anyway. But I feel like, definitely with last week, as you said, it wasn't really a full strength side, and then for them to put 54 points on the board, is nothing to bat your eyelids at. So I think definitely they're really strengthening that strength and depth through their squad. But I think Exeter are really well drilled and well coached team anyway. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go from strength to strength across the season. But yeah, and obviously Loughborough, we're getting there. We're getting there. 2 wins.
We're chasing our tails.
Yeah, we're chasing Bristol down. Yeah. No, so yeah, two wins on the bounce now, trying to make it 3 with Leicester next week. But I think we're starting to show what we've been doing in training, so hopefully we can keep that up.
Just go back to Exeter quickly, Sarah Bern. What have you made of Susie Appleby's outfit thus far?
Yeah, I think they always are a strong team. They came out exactly the same, I think. I think it will be interesting. They've obviously evolved their kicking game a bit more. You've got Tessier there, who's got like 1,000 more kicking meters than anyone else in the league. So I think, you can see how their games evolved from last year. And obviously, losing 2 finals, they probably are looking at ways how they're going to try and win that final now. But I think Saracens are also playing really well at the minute. They've really come back from their loss last year in the quarterfinals. Gloucester again, just smashing everyone. And I think, Bristol, I think we're trying so hard. Like we've had some really close games. It was 12-0 at home on the Friday night with a 5-day turnaround from Exeter for Gloucester. So I think it's a really tight table, and like I said, Loughborough right on our tails, and they've had wins. So I think that the top kind of and middle section of the league table is looking really exciting.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, if you go to fifth, Loughborough Lightning are 21 points, 4 wins from the 8. Then there's that drop down to 8 points where Quins and Trailfinders, Ealing T, if you want to call them, on 13 points, Sale on 8, and then Leicester Tigers, obviously that win, have clawed back onto to Sale. You mentioned the test here there for Exeter. Clearly, there's a want to use a kicking game from Susie Apui and length on a kick. Liz McGovern last season, she didn't have a best final, and I think left the club, mutual consent, whatever it was. But Tessier seems to be growing and growing to drive that forward for Exeter. Sale, another loss for Rachel Taylor's mob, Katie Taylor McLean's gang. Their woes continue. How do you get yourself out of a rut?
I think it's really hard. I think, to be honest, I think they've put up a really good fight. You look at some of the other scores, like there hasn't been that thrashing, and I think having 54-3, I think will really, really be hard for them to swallow because they have been performing a lot better than other seasons. I think they've had some big injuries, haven't they? So I think that will really, again, that affects your side quite a lot. You have a few key players that get hurt. It can be difficult. But again, just going back to process, just keep trying, looking at what could you have done better. A lot of the time it comes down to decision making rather than the actual game plan and stuff like that. So it's just having that belief that we'll do it together, we'll regroup, we'll try again, and it will click. It's hard when you have injuries and there's changes and you're trying, and it's the middle of the season. People are getting tired now, so it'll be interesting to see how they do. But yeah, I think Sale have been doing really well this season, despite probably not being where they want to be in the league table.
But sorry, they would say there is no easy game. They lost to Leicester, didn't they? Ealing Trailfinders are up a 7th on 13 points, the same as Harlequins, who are taking a mortgage out in the top 2 for the last 15 decades. There isn't an easy game now, and I was fearful, and we said it a month or so ago, that they might run out of steam. Back to your point, Sarah, that especially if the newer teams not playing at this level may run out of steam. But I've been really impressed by Trailfinders and Leicester. There are no easy games. It's exactly what this league wants and needs, isn't it?
Exactly. It just makes the league more exciting for the players and for the viewers to not be able to decide from the beginning of the season who's going to be top 4, who's in the bottom of the table. To have these games where you don't really know what the results are going to be, it's really, really exciting, and I think it pushes the level of our game, and it also attracts more players to come and join the game. So yeah, although it's tough for teams who are sitting on that lower end, it's also really exciting just for generally as a player in the league and for people watching.
It's very, very exciting, certainly from a broadcast point of view. A race for the top 4, it's going to be brilliant, and then the playoffs will be exceptional.
So all the fixtures for this weekend. On Saturday at 12:30, Leicester host Gloucester Hartbury. At 1 p.m, there's a big clash between 3rd and 4th as Exeter on their travels again to take on Bristol. Then at 2:30, Saracens take on London rivals Ealing Trailfinders. And then only one game on the Sunday with Harlequins to face Sale. Both are desperate for a win, and that game is live on TNT. And just a little shout out to Sale's Holly Borden, who won her 50th appearance this week. So well done to her.
Yeah, that live game on Sunday, Quins against Sale. Do you want to? Yeah, let's look at that one. What did, just from your point of view, Sarah? We've spoken to Sadi about it, but having the cameras, having a polished broadcast in and around these games. I know Bristol were covered quite early on in the season. Does it make a difference? Is it filtering through that? Things are being taken properly seriously, getting the sort of coverage that you, as players, and the league deserves.
Yeah, I think it's great that we are on a proper broadcast. There's a proper broadcast deal, and that's being funded, and it's supporting the league. I think where we had the luxury last year, you could watch every single game. I think some people are missing that aspect of it. But I think then you've got teams that have the facilities to live stream their own games. I think that's really great as well. And also it encourages people to go and actually watch, like get people to the stands, which again is what we need. We need people to go and watch those games, buy tickets to help grow. So I think it's great because we're reaching new audiences. I think it's finding that balance of how do we keep access good and encourage and get new audiences in. But I do think it is brilliant to be on TNT, and my dad loves it. Like, he doesn't have to travel from London to Bristol, so yeah, I think it is good to have such a support from an established team.
It's been a very enjoyable evening over a couple of glasses of wine with your father. I can't remember if it was in France or Italy. We're in the same restaurant. And yes, not shy of an opinion on rugby, your father. But no, thoroughly enjoyed his company. Do give him my regards. Let's have a look at that game on Sunday. Harlequins face Sale. And Sale will see that as winnable, both not in an amazing form. And if Sale and equally Queens want to get out of sort of a losing pattern, that's a hell of a ding dong game. It's going to be.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like that's going to be a really, really exciting game. I think there'll be a lot of emotion in both teams. Obviously, very fueled and round up for these games, not having the best seasons, and to their both the team standards, they hold themselves to. So I think they'll be both trying to take bites out of one another, and I think it will come down to one more who wants it on the day, and who can keep that composure on the pitch with all that emotion that will be behind it, because a lot of it is about your reputation and how you come across for yourself as a team, and also how you come across to the league. Obviously Lightning being in a bit of a rut last year, so have been there before, so I think that will be a very, very interesting game. But I don't really know who's who's gonna win that game. I think it will literally be to play for yeah, when that whistle goes.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think like what you said about like they both have that desperation to win. That's when you have to be careful giving away penalties. A lot of time I know played for Bristol in the past when we've been 7th or 6th. The more you want to play, the more you want the ball, the more penalties you give away, the worse it gets. So yeah, it's definitely going to be. I couldn't tell who's going to win that game either. I think it'll be a great one to watch, purely for the fact that they both really, really want to win so much. So I think it'll be down to the day.
We don't do fence sitting on the pod, Sarah, I'm afraid. So you have to. We won't do it international level, or perhaps you're not comfortable yet doing that. Sardi, you're very happy to drop into the crystal ball, aren't you? Come on.
Yes.
Quins or Sale? Quins at home, obviously.
I think I'm gonna go with Sale. Yeah.
Might go with Quins because it's home. I think that'll make a difference.
Nice. Deciding vote. Nothing personal. I'm gonna go Sale. I don't know why. Just a little feeling. Yeah, it's going to be full of emotion, that one. We're going kind of in reverse order here. Saracens taking on rivals Ealing Trail Finders, 2:30. Nice London derby. We've got a couple of London derbies. A duel coming up for Sarahs, haven't they? But the juggernaut just rolls on, Sarah. How do they do it?
I don't know. It's really frustrating, actually. That game before Christmas, we were like, oh, yeah, we're in the lead. And then last 5 minutes, they just absolutely took it away from us. So I am going to say Saracens. I think I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Ealing gets some nice tries, or Abby Dow, down the wing, something exciting like that. Just because I think, again, like you said, Ealing are building really nicely, but I do think Sarries will win that one. Yeah.
What do we really need to add to their game that either of you have seen that takes them, very admirable first season, literally months into creating a team. You're mid-table and very, very competitive. Fair play to Almeida and the rest. But what else do they need to add? Is it about personnel? Is it about experience at this level?
I think just from playing with them, I think they have really good like set piece strike players. I think most of their well and broken field attack. I think that's where most of their tries come from, either off first, second phase set piece or through broken field attack. But I think a lot of it will just come. The rest of it will just come from playing together. I think it's that open play stuff, which is where they can take it up a couple of notches and where I think they'll find more success. But I think with a new team, you can't really expect everyone to be clicking and be on the same page immediately. And I think the more they'll play, the more they'll come into their self and come into that area of the game.
The more they play together, the more they'll be able to throw it around. And I guess they have good set piece, they have good set plays. So I think it is that open, that live stuff. How do they keep the ball alive? How do they keep hold of it and start to get some points on the boards? Yeah.
2:30 the Stonex. Get yourselves down there. Will be a great game. Exeter off to your place, Sarah. Big clash. Not only here and now, but also sort of when you're looking ahead the season, you're likely to be in the mix, you two, and it's always nice to beat those in and around you.
Yeah, definitely. I think I am going to say Bristol because I think I'd get shot by Dave. No, I do really think the girls, like watching training this week, the girls have been training really well. I think people in the Bristol squad are, we're so close and it is getting a bit frustrating not having those wins. So I think that want to win will really be there as well. But Exeter, it's always a Southwest rival whenever you play any Southwest team. So I have every faith that Exeter will be coming all guns blazing, wanting to be the best in the West. So I think if you can get down to that game, go to it, because I think that will be a brilliant game to watch, and definitely some amazing, entertaining tries being scored with just how both the teams play very attacking shape. So yeah, I think it will be exciting to watch. But I am going to say Bristol, yeah.
Of course you are. 1 o'clock for that one. Yeah. If you can, as our first port of call, get down live to these games. If you can't, then try and grab it on telly. But yeah, always is the key, and it's so cheap. It's such great entertainment for the family and all the rest of it. We know Dave Ward, the Grand Fromage at Bristol Bears, leaves literally nothing analyse and all the rest of it. What have been top of the list to turn some of those losses into victories come the back end of the season or second half of the season? Because what are you sitting on now? Yeah, three losses. What have been the big work-ons mid-season?
I think for us, it's how we handle pressure. Not so much as in like people shouting and stuff like that. Like when we played Gloucester, 2 tries, that was it. That was the game. How do we execute when we're feeling under pressure? How do we chase the game? Again, when we played Saracens, we were ahead at half time, and then the pressure got to us. We came out second half, looked like a totally different team. So I think it's actually how do we continue to handle pressure and continue to have that drive. And a lot of the time we play a very attacking shape. So I think there'll be some exciting new things in there, but I don't want to give anything away.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
But I think if we can handle pressure and we can really hold on to those decision-making points where we don't frazzle and we don't get penalties in certain areas or lose the ball in certain spaces, I think we can. I definitely believe we can start beating those top 3 teams. It's just a case of getting that execution a little bit more precise.
Because from this layman's point of view, and I was lucky enough to cover you a couple of times early in the season, when you're on it, a bit like Gloucester Towers, you really are on it, and it's our ball, and you're not getting hold of it, and we're going to keep it phase for phase. And yeah, you would certainly challenge the best teams in the league when you play like that. So the main thing is to wrestle the game back in your favour. And David even spoke about that in the first game of the season. So yeah, a big work on for you. What most fears you about Exeter? Is it that what we previously spoken about in this pod, the kicking game?
I think no. I think we've got some strong back 3 coming this week. So So I don't think it's so much a kicking game, and also we're very prepared for it now. Like we've played them before, so it's the second time round. So you kind of you roughly know, you've watched half a season of how teams play. I think for us it is, they have obviously Claudia, a strong, you give her space, she's a very strong runner. But also they have a brilliant forward pack. They have a strong drive. They beat us a few times in their drive, and they stopped us with their more defence. So I actually think it will be a clash of the packs. And how can we get into the game with our scrum and line out and use those expertise that we have on our side to kind of overcome and lead the rest of the team against Exeter.
Hell of a game, isn't it, Sadia?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've listened to everything that Bernard's been saying, and
yeah,
and yeah, I think it will be a real big clash. Definitely a game that I would love. I mean, I can't get down there, unfortunately, but I would love to be able to watch live. And I completely agree with Bernard. I feel like it will be won and lost in those forward packs. I might be biased being a forward, but a lot of the times in the big games, that's where it comes down to those big collisions, to who wants it more, who can front up more, who can be more aggressive and dominant when they're tackling or going forward. And those are the games that I feel like are really interesting to watch, because it's kind of, you're trying to see who will crack first, and whose fitness will go first, or whose mentality will go first. So yeah, definitely a really exciting game.
and
If I'm going to
current relations, yep.
if I'm going to look into my crystal ball,
Sarah's debut on the pod.
You can say it.
I see. I definitely think it'll be a close game, and I think if Bristol get the momentum, they'll definitely come away with the win. But I'm gonna go with Exeter just off the bat. But I'll probably be proven wrong.
Why?
I'll be proven wrong. But I'm gonna go with Exeter just because of how they've been going in the season. I think they're really well drilled at the moment. So yeah.
Just purely because they're just a little bit tighter in what they're trying to do.
Yeah, no, exactly, and I think they've been building well on their results. So if they keep going up, I feel like they'd be able to get that win. But if Bristol, front up on the day and are able to stop them, then so be it.
Lovely. And I'm predicting a draw.
Oh,
No, you can't. That's not allowed.
I can.
No.
I can. I'm predicting a draw. That's a prediction, right? Exeter. Exeter. Now, the first game of the round, you've got the week off, Sadia. Uppers 12 on Saturday. Leicester hosting Gloucester Hartbury. Leicester obviously got that win, but we are expecting a reasonably comfortable win for Gloucester Hartbury, are we, Sadia?
Yes, definitely. I'm gonna go with Gloucester to come away with that win, and I think they'll put definitely more than a couple points on. With the way they've been playing as well. So
same for you, Bernard.
Yeah, I do think, though, depending on if people are rotated or whatever, I do think Leicester will definitely score some cool tries again. I think they've shown that they can do it at least one amazing try every single game. So I think they'll definitely get some good points. But I do think Gloucester will again win that one.
What has impressed you the most, Sarah? Let's get your take on the circus. We asked Clicky George the other week, because second album is often a difficult one, but they seem to be getting stronger and stronger. What do you put that down to?
I think a lot of it is down to Linny. Like, Linny builds those girls up so much. He seems really supportive. He is very encouraging to all of the girls there. But you've also got, the likes of Zoe Allcroft, who you've got a line out mastermind leading the line outs and sets like that. So I think they have a team of amazing strong players. They've obviously got Sarah Beckett, Alex Matthews, Mackenzie Carson, like so many of those England players that make key roles within the England side. I think they're just very good at playing the field. You got Clayton George, who as soon as they don't want it in that area, boom, absolutely some hell of a boot down the pitch, get their forwards on the ball. You're not going to be stopping those amazing ball carriers, no matter, like, you don't have enough people on the pitch to stop them. So I do think they've kind of got a good mix, right, of having a good positive coach, and some really hard hitting ball carriers and some great set piece. So I just think they've kind of got a good mix of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. They are a fabulous side to watch, certainly, and big smiles on the faces. So let's just remind you, Saturday, 12:30, the PWR Leicester hosts at Gloucester Hartbury, 1 o'clock. Big old clash. Bristol against Exeter, 2:30. Saracens take on Ealing Trailfinders. Now Sunday, it's a live game on TNT. Harlequins face Sale. And in the Celtic Challenge this weekend, Hubberswan Gwalior hosting Edinburgh. Clovers travel to Glasgow. That's 2 o'clock. Wolfhounds up against Brython Thunder. The Kingspan under the lights at 7:30. That's about it for another week. Marks out of 10, Sadia, for Bernard's debut.
10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Oh, look at that. Have you enjoyed it, Sarah? Have you enjoyed it? It's something a little bit different anyway.
Yeah, no, I have really enjoyed it. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed having me. I've definitely something new. But yeah, no, it's been really nice. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Great stuff. It is, and these are the messages that we get. Hearing your insight and your little bits of nuggets of trivia that from inside women's rugby at the top level is exactly what the listeners want to hear. Hopefully this man might be listening as well. I just wanted to give out a continued shout out to the man Gary Streety. He continues to recover. Been a bumpy week, if we're honest, but the amazing response has been noted and hugely appreciated by Gary and Helen Flip, his wife, and the boys. But it is the realization of these costs of how much these recovery treatments cost. Who knew speech therapy was £28,000 a year, for example. So we're going to continue the fundraising. There's lots of events coming up, with lots of people involved. The squad from 2014, Suday's involved, and these kind of people's. GoFundMe, Streets Ahead is where you need to go to if there's anything you can do to support Gary and his family. I also thought a little idea, while Gary continues his recovery, if you've ever been coached by Gary or met him or have a story about him or a message for him, send it to the pod. Emails on the link. Our DMs are always open. So if you'd like to just get a message to Gary, why don't we be the filter for that? And we will make sure that Gary and Helen and the boys receive those messages. So at Pod Women's Rugby on Insta and the artist formerly known as Twitter. And on the email, which is at womensrugbypod@gmail.com. Messages, videos, voice messages, whatever you like. Please get those sent in to us here on the pod. Thank you, Tom. Thank you to Vicky. Sadia, what are we off to go and do now? Uni
Going
work.
to get coffee.
She's off to get coffee. Sarah
No,
Bern,
actually, I have a meeting. Actually, I have a meeting over coffee, not just coffee.
Meeting over coffee. Sarah Byrne's going to get another bag of peas out of the freezer for her knee.
I've got the game ready here. It's set up. It's ready to go.
It's just too loud.
Lady, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
See ya.